For any small business, every single dollar, every single employee, it all counts, right? But what if there's this silent killer just draining your profits and you don't even see it coming? Well, today, we're going to talk about a huge shift that's happening in HR. It's all about moving away from just cleaning up messes and actually preventing them using the power of AI and analytics. Let's dive in.
So I want you to ask yourself this question. Think about your HR department. Are they always just putting out fires, in constant crisis mode, dealing with one unexpected headache after another? Or are they actually preventing those fires from starting in the first place? That one question right there is really the key to everything we're about to talk about. And this leads us to this really cool way of thinking about it. The big shift in HR from being a firefighter to becoming, a fortune teller. Okay, so on one side, you've got the classic HR firefighter. They're totally reactive. An employee suddenly quits, there's a mistake in payroll, boom, they're on it after the fact. It's just a constant cycle of putting out fires. But on the other side, you have the HR fortune teller. Now, this isn't about some crystal ball, okay? This is about using AI to predict what's just around the corner. It's all about spotting the patterns that tell you trouble is brewing long before it actually hits. But this constant firefighting, what does it actually cost you? Because it's way more than just a headache. It's a direct hit to your bottom line. So let's talk about the very, very high cost of just guessing. Yeah, let's actually try to put a number to it. When one of your key employees just walks out the door, what's the real financial damage? And I'm not just talking about the cost of a job ad. I mean, what is the true all-in cost to your business? Really think about it. Well, on average, the cost is a pretty shocking number. It's 33%. Yeah, 33% of that employee's annual salary. That is a huge financial blow. And look, that number isn't just about recruitment fees. Think about the lost productivity while that desk is empty, the time and money it takes to train a replacement, and what it does to the morale of the rest of your team. For a small business, honestly, losing just 3 or 4 key people can be the difference between a great year and a total disaster. So yeah, guessing isn't just risky, it's a terrible strategy. So how do we stop guessing? Well, you start by finding the hidden stories that are buried in your own employee data. It's all about figuring out the why behind the numbers. Why do people stay? And maybe even more importantly, why do they leave? Modern AI tools are basically detectives for your HR data. They can look at everything from how your pay stacks up to scheduling patterns. They're amazing at spotting these critical trends like, hey, why are new hires always leaving after 90 days? They can also flag those revolving door jobs that you can never seem to keep filled. And they can even connect the dots between turnover and specific things like benefits or schedules or maybe even certain managers. Okay, that's the theory. Let's make this super real. Picture this. You run a retail shop. It's a scene a lot of you probably know really well. So, you've got about 20 employees, right? But every single summer, you just get hit with this wave of people quitting. You're bleeding talent and you have no idea why. Then you run predictive analytics and it shows you this startling pattern. Your new hires are all leaving almost like clockwork, right at the 90-day mark. And just like that, you have your first real clue. The problem probably isn't the work itself. It's something happening in your onboarding. And this is where the magic really happens. When you have these kinds of insights, HR stops being this department that just reacts to problems. It becomes a real strategic engine, actively pushing your business forward. And the benefits, they're huge. First, you can step in early and stop someone from leaving before they even decide to, saving you thousands. You can also use that data to fix the root cause of your problems, like that broken 90-day onboarding process. And maybe the best part of all this kind of tech isn't just for the giant corporations anymore. These incredible tools, the kind that were once only for the Fortune 500, are now totally accessible for small businesses. I mean, just look at the difference here. We're literally moving from a rearview mirror approach where you're only looking at what's already happened to looking forward through the windshield. It's the difference between doing damage control and actually practicing preventative medicine for your business. It is a complete and total game changer. And honestly, the numbers just speak for themselves. The leap in efficiency you get is, it's staggering. We're talking about a potential 95% gain when you move from a purely reactive model to a predictive one. This is how small businesses can finally connect the dots between their people and their long-term strategy. So, the big takeaway here is really simple. This isn't just about making HR paperwork a little faster. It's about completely transforming the role of HR, turning it from a cost center into a powerful engine for real, sustainable growth.
Look, for the very first time, business owners like you have the tools to genuinely see into the future of their own workforce. The question isn't what if anymore. The question is what's next. So now that you can predict the future, what are you going to build with it?